Okay, so let's talk about gain structure and how we can set up our mix, get a better balance for a decent pre-master with some headroom. As you can see at the minute, mine's clipping. I often see people moving the master channel, things like that. So let's look at just setting that up. So all I'm going to do is start with a kick, solo it, and I'm looking at the peak level on the master, and I'm going to set that to -10. And then for the bass, I'm just going to set that a few dB lower. So I'm going to go for -12, and we're just going to bring that in. Again, looking at the peak level. And then at this point, you can start to ask yourself, is the sound selection right? Does it work? Am I tweaking too much? So here we've got some shakers, and I'm going to put them to about -22. Now these are starting points, numbers where if you put a gun to my head, I was to say a number, you know, let's do it this way. This is giving headroom for the pre-master, for the mastering engineer. Let's just filter in there, so it'll do. So pads and synthy stuff, I'm going to put to around -20. In fact, I'm not going to say around, I'm going to say exactly, so we can totally foolproof this. For any of you overthinkers, you could see this as a technical aspect, and then later seeing it as a creative aspect where you can come in and tweak the levels and rebalance again. So right now we can hear everything in the mix. And we've still got plenty of headroom. So let's also do some troubleshooting and figure some things out. So let's throw in these. So here comes our first issue. I'm going to set this to about -15. But you see how the peak level is bouncing around so much. It's great, it's got some dynamic range. Now I'm not wanting to suck the life out of that. I just want to get a bit more control over that level, just to help the balance of the whole mix. And this is where the use of a compressor would now come in. This is traditionally what they were built for. Of course you could split the channels and rebalance, but in this case I'm going to take off on average around -5 dB. You can see that the louder peak is hitting around -10. So we're taking off a fair bit on that louder hit, but I can live with that, because now I've got a bit more control over that level, making it easier to balance it in the mix. And as you can see, everything's in there and we've still got plenty of headroom. This I'm going to treat like a piece of percussion and just put it between that -22, -25 area. And this is where we would then use some EQ, just to make sure that those lows aren't getting through, because they're always present in these sort of sounds. So I'm just getting rid of stuff that I don't need. And these sorts of sounds do have some lingering low end that aren't really providing anything to the mix. So we've got some more synth stuff, and I'm just going to stick that around the -20. And I've still got headroom. So if I think about space in the mix, we can go back to the EQ again and just see if there's anything there that we can get. So this particular sound does have some really nice low end, but as we've got a bass in this track, we don't really need that. Now you can see the low of those toms is sitting around that 120 to 150 area, and we could go in and carve that out in the bass. I don't really feel like we need to in this case, and it's about weighing up those options of what you're prepared to lose from the bass and the toms, or vice versa. So if we look at the master now, you can see you've got a very bass heavy mix. So this could be something that you would tweak when referencing. But I know when I put my compression and limiting on, that balance is going to change. In this case, the bass has been pushed down slightly, the shakers therefore come up. I've still got headroom to play with. If I really wanted to, I could smash this master and really get it loud. So if we think about what we've just done, we've just got kick at -10, sub at -12, hat, cymbal, shakers -22. Then we had the tom and stuff, which is like a bass layer. We had that at -15. And then synth stuff around -20. Once we got our balance, then we move on to EQ. And we just cut low frequencies only. Then we can move on to compressing for control. You know, sounds that are bounced around. You know, these things will tighten with your mix. Then the EQ and compression is going to change your balance, so it will be worth rebalancing, possibly going around again. Just making sure nothing's moved too much. Then once you've rebalanced everything, you can go and make minor adjustments. You can stick a limiter on it. Then you can now rebalance again, but tweaking it this time with a reference track, both set to equal loudness as I've shown you in my other video.